Hello and welcome back, Josh, Sam and anyone else who's watching, to Let's Be Aves-ing You, the final episode of Let's Be Aves-ing You, because in the last few weeks I have had baby, and I've also gotten bored of doing the same thing over and over again, attempting to win the Champions League constantly. We are one season on from where I left you last time. We, this year, had a pretty good year. We didn't start brilliantly. You see here that we had a couple of dodgy results here, a 2-2 draw with Sporting, a 1-3 loss away at Braga. We then lost the next league game we had as well to Guimarães, and we had another loss, this time to Académica. So things were not looking good. However, we then turned things around in the second half of the season, or not even the second half, but from November. We lost once in the league to Sporting in that time, winning everything else as we went along, including, as you see there, the League Cup and the Taça de Portugal, meaning that we have done a historic treble. I can just load up my stats doc to see when the last team won a treble. Hang on a second, let's see if we can work that out. The last team to win a treble would have been Sporting Lisbon in 2096, so it's pretty rare. And it's now us that have done that for the first time in a decade, I guess. You see here we finished 5 points clear in the end. Sporting, even though we didn't beat them, Porto kept beating them, which was very nice. And I think they kept having weird big draws against. They drew against. Did they have a big draw against like Rio Ave or something like that? I know that they struggled against Nacional as well. So finally, the bigger teams around the top of the table, taking points off of each other. You see that we actually lost more games than them. In fact, that's probably the most amount of defeats a team has had and won the league for a long old time. There was 4. Who was that? Porto back in 94-95. 94-95, so yeah, in 12 years it's not been... But I drew 1 game and that's it. 25 wins, 76 points. I think that's technically the lowest number of points we've ever won it with before. Yeah, joint lowest point total for us. But never mind, good win. We also, as I said, we walked our way through the Taça de Portugal. The early rounds were pretty good, so we had a 6-0 win over Belenenses. We then beat Porto 3-1 in the Cup, followed that up immediately with a 5-0 win over Freamundi. We beat Braga 5-0 in the 6th round. And then in the semi-final of the Taça, where's the Taça semi-final? There it is. We had a 2-legged affair against Santa Clara, beating them 9-2 in total, before winning the Taça de Portugal final 4-1 against Benfica, a game in which none of our starting 11 really were able to start because they were all off at the World Cup. And we also won the League Cup. We drew our first game of that 2-2 with Vitória Guimarães. But we then beat Naval 2-0 and then beat Firenze 6-2, which set up a semi-final against Porto, who we beat on penalties, before then absolutely demolishing Braga 5-1 in the final. A lovely bit of just a lovely bit of fun. So three trophies. Unfortunately, the European side of things didn't go quite so well. We also won the Super Taça 1-0 over Porto. But yeah, so we had a pretty good group stage, to be fair. We beat Polonia Warszawa twice. I think we beat Dortmund home and away as well. We did. We drew 1-1 and beat Ajax 3-0. And then in our first fucking knockout game, we drew 1-1 with Schalke, drew 1-1 with Schalke at home, and then lost on penalties. And it was because in this game, basically the last what was the last knockout? The last group game, was it the Dortmund game or was there another one? I think in this game we had 3 players so one player was sent off. Did it? No. But we had 3 players or something that got yellows, and so they were all unable to play against Schalke. I think Bailey, Herschel Green, maybe a defender as well, or maybe it was also another striker. I can't remember. But anyway, we were not at our fullest, and we were knocked out in the fucking first knockout round. And I'm tired of getting knocked out in the first knockout round of the Champions League. So, there you are. There you have it. That is the end of the Aves adventure over the course of... What was it? So, we go 2080... No, it was 2088-90. When was it? I think it was. So, this season here, we took over at Aves, winning the second division title with a pretty clear... is that us? No, this is the one. Winning the Portuguese second division, just a few points ahead of Académica, who I think have still managed to stay in the division with us all this time. We then went up into the 2092-93 season in the top division, finishing 8th, and slowly dragging our way up, 8th, 7th, 8th, up to 3rd, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, win. 5 league titles in a row. In the end, we have ended up as the joint 4th best league team in Portuguese history. We've only got 2 FA Cups to our name. Let's just refresh that so that it updates. But that still makes us something like the 10th most successful club in the Taça de Portugal, because Porto have 50. Porto also have 85 league titles. And in the League Cup, we're very successful. We've got 6 wins, 6 League Cups. I'll show you our competition record here. So we've also won the Europa League and the European... we came runner-up in the Super Cup. That was 5 years ago. 5 Premier League titles, all in a row. Portuguese second division, it doesn't matter. The Taça de Portugal, 2 wins there and a couple of runners-up position, because that competition is scheduled like a fucking idiot. Schedules it. All of it always 2 weeks after the end of the season when everyone's on holiday. Stupid. And the Portuguese League Cup, which we have a bit of a love affair with. We won that quite quickly into our reign, and then have won it a lot in the last few seasons, and come runners-up quite a lot as well. So it's been a pretty good, productive competition for us, and the Super Taça there as well. This season, in terms of transfers, I don't really think we made very many wow transfers. We got rid of some of these guys. So Kulis Vasileu, obviously a bit of a legend. Is there anyone else there who's even particularly interesting? Lefteris Marcos, who was not a good striker as it turned out, but we made a big old profit on him. He went to Rangers and won the league, so well done to him. But yeah, no one else there particularly surprisingly exciting who we sold. I quite liked Alvaro Alaya, or at least I liked the idea of him. We sold him after a couple of seasons and made a bit of profit on him, so that's good. And we brought in a few players. So we brought in the youngster Mirko Herceg, who I believe is half German in Josh's... half Croatian in Josh's favourite style. He's not going to be very good, but that doesn't matter for me anymore. We signed Georg Gazarian, a 29-year-old defensive midfielder. Only played a few times for us. He actually got a few more games than it said there. I think 8 appearances in total, but he was just there as a backup. And he did okay, but he's not a spectacular player. Joost van Gelderen, the 21-year-old, he is good and probably will be good as we go on, or as the club goes on without me here. But yeah, he's a decent player. He scored twice in the cup final. I don't think he scored in the league, but he had 3 goals in the cups, and I think 2 of those came in the cup final, so not bad. Then there was a young Polish centre-back called Piotr Szwaga, who apparently was supposed to be really good. They still think he's going to be a leading Premier League central defender. I'm not convinced. And we signed this guy on loan, Moha, who's obviously really, really good. We hardly played though, because I actually decided we have our own left-back players who should be playing. So you see that we didn't really add very much to the team, which is why our league total of points went down. We conceded a lot more goals than we have done previously. You know, it is what it is. The squad, for the most part, didn't look anything like this, as you see it here, because of the way that I had to play for the lineup for the final. But it would have looked like this for most of the season, with Daly as like the extra sub. And also Vergoen. You would have had, instead of Kovac, you'd have had Lars Suarez, Dino King-Antoine instead of Arturo Casanova, and Ivailo Petrov instead of Anderson. But actually Anderson played quite a lot of games. You would have also had Herschel Green in there instead of Kimorias, who's only played 5 or 6 games this season. Casanova played a lot of games as a kind of rotation option in midfield. So did Emilson on the right, and that's about it. We were pretty efficient with our squad this year, And in defence, we were mostly... So Makula, he's one of the guys who I think I signed 2 years back. It's hard to remember because it's been a little while. He made a fair few appearances this season. This is the guy that I thought maybe we should really be playing him instead of that Mohar guy. But the team was actually mostly like this. So Amir Shaban, the left back I signed, was it for $1 million off of Ismaili, who's really, really come on this season. Played really, really well. He was in the running for fullback of the year. Didn't get it, but it's okay. Good player. We then played with Protsenko and Wirtz for most of it, I think, with Abina coming in place of either of those two, and he would also have had then Makula coming in normally. And a right back for the most part would have been Alberto Pastrana, the right back from Mexico, who we signed a couple of seasons ago, who's just been fantastic, really, really what we needed. A very good player. I wouldn't be surprised if half of these players get sold as soon as I leave, but that's the way of Football Manager. We shall see. How things look around the world, we will just go back to our very first ever club, Weston-super-Mare, who nearly 100 years ago now I took over and took them on quite the run. You can see here how rapidly their fall has come. There's something like 30,000 seats closed at Wheatland Park. They've got I thought it said George Bush, but it's George Brush as vice captain. And they've really dropped like a stone. They're slowly coming back. So the green seeds of recovery may be coming back. They've been in financial woes since getting relegated out of the Championship. Not just those guys though who have woes. We have Swindon Town as well. Swindon have been this season relegated from the Premier League, playing in the 85,000 seater Vukotic Arena. They've gone down this season. I expect they'll start to do what Weston did for a bit and yo-yo, and then they'll regress back to League Two as they end up down there. Other former clubs, Slansk Wrocław, who seem to have sort of fared best of my teams that I've left. They're still bouncing around on the top of the league. They're playing now in Wheatland Park. They regularly get through to the latter stages of the Champions League. Of the Europa League now. So they're pretty good side. This season losing out to Polonia Warszawa, but you can't have everything. And the other main one is FC Lviv, who have just fallen off a cliff since I took over. If we go back and have a look there, you can see this is, I think I left this year here, and they've just dropped and just terrible now. I really don't understand. Planning in Insect Park. Maybe I should have stayed for a few more years to go over that period where they built the new stadium to help manage their finances a bit better, because I think they sold a lot of players in order to finance that and have now not really recovered. So yeah, unfortunately the Ukrainian league, pretty much as you expect, Shakhtar winning it for most of this time. I think that's when I left actually. And of course I completely forgot San Marino. San Marino have, I think I mentioned it in one of the previous videos, they've obviously won the Europa League since I left, so that's pretty cool. This season they finished 6th in the league, and a pretty solid upper mid-table Serie A side. They've won the cup a couple of times since I left. I think they've won the league once more as well since I left, so fine. Inter offered me their job this year, but I've obviously rejected that. Now, the question now turns to where do we go next? So, the Blue Square South features my hometown club, Chippenham Town. The Bluebirds, playing in Harden Hewish Park, where they actually play in real life. That place must be absolutely knackered by now. But yeah, they're actually doing pretty well, sort of bumping up slowly. There is another team in Swindon called Swindon Supermarine. They don't appear to be here yet, but at the end of this season, when I think it's the 1st of July, we'll see who populates this division, the 3 teams that get promoted to replace Gillingham, etc. And if it's Supermarine, there's a question there. So that's your 2 English club potentials. There is, who was it? So I kind of want to play in yellow, and I found that in the Scottish 3rd Division is Dumbarton, who play in yellow and have a fun elephant as their badge. So I was thinking I could take over at Dumbarton. I've done a Scottish save before, but not for a very long time. And the other option I have is potentially Aalborg in Denmark. They are a team who previously used to be really, really big, but now they're playing in the equivalent of the bottom division in the Danish leagues. Or suggestions from you, or the only other club that I can think of that I'd quite like to manage would be FC Brno. Now, they've got Sparta Brno in the Czech 4th division, who I can't even play. This Brno, they're actually already in the 1st division, so I don't know if that would be very much fun, really. Dukla Prague have that sweet, sweet badge. If Brno were, I think about 3 years since they got promoted, if they were able to be played, I might play as them, but that's another red team. I don't know. And let's just look at, I want to see the German 4th division or 3rd division in this, because, so the one thing I'm still kind of hoping to do is take a team from the bottom of the German divisions, the French and the Spanish divisions. That'll happen eventually, but it'll just take longer now that we've got Baby. I want to see a team from the bottom here, and I want to see who gets promoted, because we have Hertha, who I've already been the manager of once. I don't intend to take them over because their finances are a mess. I don't want to take over Leipzig or anything like that. But if for example, there is another team from Berlin, if we look, and we go to clubs, there are loads of them, but particularly, I wonder if they would be able to come through. Berliner Dynamo Berlin, basically, would be cool. If any of these guys came through, that would be great. Union are currently too high. I need to take a club from the 3rd division. So it would have to be Union if they got relegated, or one of these teams if they got promoted. Berliner Sports Club Kickers. Cool. And there's no one in France that particularly interests me. And if we go to... and now I'm going to have to go and walk the dog. But if I search this, competitions, clubs, competitions, there we go. And we drop down to the Spanish 3rd division. And it's just these, there we go. So if we look at the league tables. So there are, I mean, this league, it looks tough, these kind of leagues. I'm not sure if I can really be bothered at the moment. You've got none of these particularly stand out. Tomelloso, Ontinient, that's fun. Anyone interesting here? Europa, that's a cool name, and Badalona. So they've got Badalona there. They were a team that I was considering being the manager of. So potentially Badalona, or even this Europa team, because they've got a crazy ass badge. Anyone interesting in B1? No, although the Bembibri, that would be fun. So yeah, let me know what you think, and probably by the time that I've actually bothered to upload this, it will I'll have already made the decision. But let me know what you think. See you later then, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you with the next season soon. Bye.